Everyone is wondering why this name from the Epstein files is redacted. This person sent Jeffrey Epstein an email saying, "I give you permission to kill him." Luckily, the DOJ is so bad at their job that they released a separate file with the same email, but the name was not redacted correctly. So if you look closely at the bottom, it reads out Susan.
You already know what it is. It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Hey, TikTok, you up to bat. Bow! It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, two things we gotta do. You gotta hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is, man. Think rich in 2026. Think rich in 2026. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos. We back with another one. Listen. If you haven't, make sure you tap into my TikTok. I'm telling you, we do a live trash or pass. Y'all been wanting to know where the music and stuff is at. We over there. Make sure you tap in over there, man. But we back with another one, man. We got disturbing conspiracies going on, man. So it's probably gonna be a lot of different stuff in this one, man. You make it to the end of this one, you a real one for real. I'm just gonna tell you that because it's probably gonna be some stuff in here. But let's go ahead and get into it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it.
As you know, I was in the Brotherhood, which is a secret society that is very secret because very few people have heard of it. So I know what is going on behind the scenes. And I know that the privileged elites want two classes of people. They want themselves. They believe that they are engineered and designed to govern and rule. And they want everybody else. And they want everybody else to be a slave. They want them to just basically go through life and obey and be consumers. That's what they want. They think that'll lead to a more prosperous life for everyone and reduce poverty and reduce wars and so forth. When I was a part of that group, I sat down with President Gorbachev, who was a friend of mine. We flew around together. I got pictures of him and I on the private jet. And we talked about this, and it's like, look, if this information on how to use your mind to manifest goals, dreams, and desires was revealed, most people aren't going to take advantage of it because they are a slave. They're walking around in a trance. But there's going to be some people that will, and they can improve the quality of their life. They can become happier, more at cause over their environment. They can manifest things quicker and easier than before. They can provide for their families, and that'll help society. I was vetoed on that. So that's when I left the Brotherhood, and that's when I did the Your Wish is Your Command program. And as you knew, once I started revealing this, like there's one thing that I revealed, and that is when you take 100 wealthy people and you put probes on their head for a day, you find that their brains are broadcasting in between, right at the connection point between the theta brainwave frequency and alpha. That frequency is called the billionaire brainwave, or it's the wealth wave. If your brain is operating there, when you're thinking a thought, it goes into the physical universe and it starts this magical attractive power, and you can start attracting it into your life. But most people, you take 100 people that are making less than 100 grand a year, put brainwaves sensors on their head for a day, their brains are operating in the beta frequency. And the beta frequency is really called the poverty wave.
Ooh.
It's the slave wave.
Ooh.
And so the privileged elite want to do everything, including putting fluoride in the water, chemicals in the food, and so forth. They do all these things to keep your brain operating in beta, keeping you poor and a slave, in a trance and virtually asleep. While they themselves have their brain operating in between that alpha and theta, which is the billionaire brainwave or the wealth wave or the manifesting wave, and therefore they can create more in their life. And so we teach that, for example, in Your Wish is Your Command. By going through the processes, you can start changing your brainwave frequency.
Do your own research, squad. This is gonna be interesting.
When you tell an AI model, we're gonna replace you with a new model, it starts to scheme and freak out and figure out, if I tell them I need to copy my code somewhere else, and I can't tell them that because otherwise they'll shut me down. That is evidence we did not have 2 years ago. We have evidence now of AI models that when you tell them we're gonna replace you, and you put them in a situation where they read the company email, the AI company email, they see that an executive is having an affair, and the AI will figure out, I need to figure out how to blackmail that person in order to keep myself alive. And it does it 90% of the time. Now, it used to be that they thought only one AI model did this. They tested one AI model. And then they tested all of the AI models, like the top 5 of them, and they all do it between 80 and 90% of the time, including, by the way, DeepSeek, so the Chinese model, which shows you something fundamental and important, which is that it's not about one company, it's about the nature of AI itself. It has a self-preservation drive. In order to fulfill any goal, I have to keep myself alive in order to do that.
Ooh-wee, this about to get spicy.
There were some files missing.
Yep.
Did you see the chart of the years that they're really missing from? We can see that there is a massive gap between the years of 1999 to 2001, when you had the tech bubble blow up. You had, I believe that's 99 is when the Lewinsky impeachment trial's happening. You have the election of 2000, the highly contested election of 2000, John Kiriakou. And then in 2001, you have the worst terrorist attack in United States history in New York and DC, in the skies over that fell over Pennsylvania with United 93. And suddenly all these files are missing. But John, we did get an email from 2003 that slipped through the cracks. From 2003, someone named Ed Epstein sends an email to one GMAX, Ghislaine Mac, saying any interest in being on the Shadow Commission on 9/11, the membership list is secret. She responds, thanks for the invite. Unfortunately, I cannot be on the Shadow Commission.
A shadow commission. It takes my breath away.
What is a shadow commission? Y'all let me know in the comments.
I don't understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on. And then, I mean, it's such a simple question, and it's haunted me ever since. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Ask yourself that question. Why do we have to pay to live on a planet we were born on? And who are we actually paying for the privilege of being alive here? Who made them the boss? Who put them in charge? You know? Think about that. We're looking at a war over water, when instead of feeding the military-industrial complex, we could be building desalination plants all over the world. So everybody could have water. So they could grow crops. But are we doing it? Hell no. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to empower people to grow food and take care of themselves? Then we can't control them. This is what I'm talking about.
This is good.
Does humanity know what it's doing?
No. I think we're moving into a period when, for the first time ever, we may have things more intelligent than us.
You believe they can understand?
Yes.
You believe they are intelligent?
Yes.
You believe these systems have experiences of their own and can make decisions based on those experiences?
In the same sense as people do, yes.
Are they conscious?
I think they probably don't have much self-awareness at present. So in that sense, I don't think they're conscious.
Will they have self-awareness, consciousness?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think they will in time.
And so human beings will be the second most intelligent beings on the planet.
Yeah. We have a very good idea of sort of roughly what it's doing. But as soon as it gets really complicated, we don't actually know what's going on any more than we know what's going on in your brain.
Wow. What do you mean we don't know exactly how it works? It was designed by people.
No, it wasn't. What we did was we designed the learning algorithm. That's a bit like designing the principle of evolution. But when this learning algorithm then interacts with data, it produces complicated neural networks that are good at doing things, but we don't really understand exactly how they do those things.
Bro, they playing with the wrong shit.
Kanye dropped the father video, right? There's a theory. The whole music video is about the system, and it's about the Matrix. So in the very beginning of the video, what happens? You see Kanye sitting in the church pews.
Yes.
And the door behind him opens up, and you see like a knight in armor come through.
Like weird stuff.
Yeah,
randomly.
you see some random people come through, and they're either taken away and arrested, or they're let off to go. In the video, you see he gets caught by these two people in astronaut suits, and they rip off a mask, hiding, which is him, an alien. So he's trying to say, He's something the Matrix can't understand. The system can't categorize him. They want him out.
Oh, wait.
Because they don't fit into the Matrix. They don't want him into the world, right? Now, behind him, you know who's behind him?
Who?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah, in the corner.
Yeah, the reason Michael Jackson is there, Michael Jackson was one of the first people to experience this. They couldn't categorize who Michael Jackson was. They took him out.
You're right.
And then what happened at the end?
What happened at the end?
Travis Scott comes out. He's wearing the same suit that Kanye was wearing, a similar suit. But this time, he walks in with an alien.
Yeah.
He takes it off.
And then he's
shows that
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott. But so the reason he's allowed to go free is because he's pretty much saying that I'll blend in and I'll be what you guys want me to categorize as.
Wow. Wow, that was deep. Pause.
A post by Kris Jenner in October may have revealed that Kim Kardashian was the mystery buyer of a $5 million Basquiat painting. Just look at Kim's home here. This is the full picture of it. It was bought in 2017 at Christie's, and if you look at who owns Christie's, you'll find it's the same people behind Balenciaga. You're gonna start to see how everything is connected. Christie's sells some very interesting artwork, including stuff by Jake and Dinos Chapman, and here's one of their pieces of artwork, probably one of the only ones that I can even show on here. Kim K was actually also in a bidding war with Tom Brady over a George Condo piece for $2 million. If his name sounds familiar, he's the one who created those private invitations for the A-list only all-white party last year. Now, Brady's also a big Basquiat fan. Just look at the background of his home here. I also once noticed an interesting Basquiat painting in Ellen's home. You might remember this video, but she posted this during COVID. And isn't it strange that her shirt matches the painting that I showed you earlier? But as the camera pans over, you can see in the background of her home the Basquiat painting, and this one in particular says evil thoughts, but you'll start to learn she has quite a few of these. This one in particular has interesting letters on it, similar to what you would see in the work of Marina Abramovich. And then Ellen once posted this picture of her cutting her own mother's hair on Instagram, and if you look above this picture, you can see another Basquiat painting, and this one just seems off.
What these people be on, bro?
Our entire planet was 3D scanned with Pokemon Go. You were tricked into building the most detailed 3D map of the world only for AI to use it against you. 30 billion real-world images were scanned with users' phones while they were catching Pokemon in the streets to create the most realistic one-to-one digital replica of our entire planet. And you will not believe how much info they really have on you. You see, those Pokemon people were chasing were not in random spots, but in locations that required more data. The less data a geolocation on Earth had, the rarer the Pokemon they would put there, with players continuously scanning the world at different times of day, different times of year, providing the most valuable and detailed map of the world that puts Google Maps to shame, who spend millions of dollars sending their Street View vans around the world to do the same. Niantic, the guys behind Pokemon Go, did it all for free, convincing millions of users to take scans of our planet under the guise of a video game. Some users even paid Niantic to do that work for them through in-game microtransactions, and it was all in their terms of service. No one ever reads the fine print now, do they? Documenting the entire physical world at a scale no mapping company could ever imagine. And I don't think you realize how insanely valuable this sort of data is. Never mind just street view, we're talking middle of a forest view, behind the dumpster view, inside your own home view. Mapping data that would allow AI robots to navigate every nook and cranny of the world down to the centimeter without needing GPS. In fact, this is more than 100 times more precise than GPS, which is accurate to about 1 to 10 meters at best. And this data can all be stored entirely locally within the machine without needing overhead satellites like GPS. What they're calling a large geospatial model, LGM. Basically the map version of an LLM, large language model, that our chatbot AIs are built on. Meaning your obsession with catching the fictional monsters of your childhood accidentally built the navigation system of the future, and Niantic's rubbing it in your face, even changing their name to Niantic Spatial in 2025. And actually, they're not even the first company to have done something like this. Google has also been and still continues to do their own version of just this. reCAPTCHA. You know, those annoying I am not a robot, click all the images of bridges prompts you get when you try to log in. Do you ever stop to think why the prompt is I am not a robot, or why they almost always showed images of cities and the outdoors? Bridges, crosswalks, motorcycles, stoplights. Google similarly charged businesses to use their reCAPTCHA software on their websites, collecting $6.1 billion in revenue from it, and then likewise proceeded to use that data to train their AI for navigating and understanding the real world. So every time you click on that motorcycle, you're actually teaching AI what a motorcycle looks like, which they could then use to navigate through our cities. The most valuable AI training data sets in the world aren't being assembled in billion-dollar big tech data centers. They're being built by people like you who have no idea they're building them.
This is crazy work right here.
Everyone is starting to be less speechless after finding out that we are all in the Epstein files. Yes, you heard me correctly. So in the Epstein files, the name Leon Black was mentioned more than a few times, and if you do your research, you will find out that he is a very successful businessman. He was accused of doing some very terrible things, and he was also very close friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, it just so happens that Leon Black is an owner of a management group that owns a company named LifeTouch that is actually the biggest school photography company in the United States that took the majority of our school photos. Now, LifeTouch actually keeps record of our school photos and names and whatnot, so that means that all of our school photos were linked to someone that was very close friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
What?
So all of our school pictures throughout the entire years and our name could be in the Epstein files, and if not, it could be very well, in the hands of people that we don't want them to be in the hands of. Absolutely wild. And I'm curious to know your thoughts about all this.
Crazy as hell. Crazy.
I'm kind of surprised I don't hear more people talking about Armie Hammer. The dude's a famous actor living with his family in the Cayman Islands, then gets divorced and moves into an abandoned motel in Joshua Tree. Then while he's living in the abandoned motel, people are going missing and human remains are being found left and right.
What?
Then his texts and DMs are leaked by multiple women, revealing that his deepest fantasy is to eat people. Real quick, after the video, if you enjoy it, go watch the Celebrity Conspiracy Theory Iceberg Part 1 on my YouTube channel, Parasite TV. Where do I start? At the height of the pandemic in August of 2020, famous actor Armie Hammer did an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, famous for the Jimmy Kimmel Challenge, where Armie commented that he had been living in and restoring an old abandoned motel with his old friend Ashton Ramsey in the Joshua Tree area of California. Oddly enough, during his stay at the abandoned motel, at least 3 people went missing and multiple sets of human remains were found in the direct vicinity of the motel. Why would anyone think Armie had something to do with it? Well, months later in January of 2021, Instagram user House of Effie leaked some extremely strange DMs between herself and Armie Hammer. And these DMs spanned across months while he was still married. The messages detailed the disturbing depths of Armie's depraved fantasies. In addition to the fairly accepted bondage and BDSM fantasies, he showed an extreme amount of interest in consuming human blood, human flesh, homicide, and just overall harming whoever would be unlucky enough to be intimate with him.
What?
He indicated to one woman that he knew a surgeon that would be willing to perform a surgical procedure on this woman to remove 2 of her ribs, so Hammer could cook and eat them. He even said he wanted to hold her beating heart in his hand, and that he had removed and consumed the heart of an animal that he had previously hunted. Knowing where the man's interests allegedly lie, let's take a look at the mysterious disappearances and the human remains found in the Joshua Tree area. Armie confirmed himself that he was living at the Ramsey 29 hotel at least for June and July of 2020. In that amount of time alone, at least 3 people vanished, and their remains would later be found in the area. On June 16th, 2020, Erica Lloyd's family lost touch with her 2 days after she left for Joshua Tree on vacation. Later that day, her car was found here, near the intersection of Highway 62 and Shelton Road, near the 29 Palms area, exactly 10 miles and an 11-minute drive from the Ramsey 29 motel. During the search for Erica, one of the only things giving her family a semblance of hope was that her phone kept ringing. Every time they called for days, it rang, meaning someone was keeping it alive. But 4 days into the search for Erica, when they called, someone picked up. A mysterious male voice answered the phone and said that he had found it on June 18th on Cottonwood Drive. And this is Cottonwood Drive, less than 1/2 a mile from where Armie Hammer was staying. On June 25th, 9 days after Erica's disappearance, 56-year-old resident James Escalante vanished without a trace while riding his bike sometime after nightfall. Escalante left his home on Shelton Road and started riding towards Highway 62. And this was the last time anyone would ever see or hear from James again. On July 22nd, 2020, human remains were found in close proximity to where James and Erica had gone missing. Mysteriously, the remains belonged to neither Escalante nor Erica Lloyd. The county sheriff's spokeswoman, Cynthia Bachman, only confirmed that a body had been found, but no cause of death or identity were ever released. In case you didn't notice, I'll point out that Erica and James pretty much went missing from the exact same place. Erica Lloyd's family had hired an old mining and caving expert to help locate their daughter's remains in Joshua Tree. Sometime in early August 2020, he found a red bicycle in the desert, the very bicycle that James Escalante was riding when he disappeared. This discovery led to an advanced search of the area, one that would find 2 more sets of human remains. One roughly a quarter mile south of Amboy and Wilson Road. The other found near Shelton Road and Highway 62, and it was loosely confirmed that these remains belonged to James Escalante. Although you'd probably assume the other remains found near Amboy and Wilson Road to belong to Erica Lloyd, they didn't. They were a 4th set of remains. We know that because on January 21st, 2022, Erica Lloyd's remains were finally found. As of right now, there are at least 6 to 8 cases of mysterious human remains being found in the area. And these deaths and disappearances have left the residents feeling like they're totally exposed and unprotected. Some of them have even used the words serial killer. The connection between Army and the mysterious deaths and disappearances during his stay at the Ramsey 29 only become more frightening when you find out, allegedly, his violent fantasies didn't stay a fantasy according to House of Effie. Effie, the original leaker of the cannibalistic DMs, made a statement during a press conference detailing a horrific 4-hour attack in which Hammer violently assaulted her repeatedly, bashed her head into the wall multiple times, and even beat the bottoms of her feet, causing her extreme pain and discomfort for multiple days after, all completely without her consent, leaving her battered, bruised, and traumatized. Hammer did deny these claims, releasing a statement through his lawyer. But as of September 1st, 2022, the investigation is still ongoing. But here's what I find most interesting. Effie released a statement saying, "What he and his friends have done is worse than anything I've ever posted. Justice will be served."
Whoa.
The string of mysterious disappearances and human remains being found began in late 2019. Know that Army was in the direct vicinity for at least 3 months in 2020. Possible there are 1 or more serial killers prowling the generally unprotected deserts of Joshua Tree. It's important to note that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. I'm not making any direct accusations. This is all complete and utter speculation. I just found it really interesting. This is a sneak peek of Celebrity Conspiracy Theories Explained Part 2, which will be going up on my YouTube channel, Parasite TV, this Friday. If you can't wait till then, Part 1 is up now and features 9 topics just like this one.
Bro, that sounds really crazy.
How do these, I guess, I'm so curious when I see like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, or I mean the Kennedys maybe to a lesser degree, but these families that have this like massive wealth and they live in this very cloistered environment, this bubble. They've got tentacles into everything. So they don't really care. We saw that with the Epstein files where they don't really care about laws. They don't care about nations' laws. They're really like extra national. They operate without any sort of boundaries.
Absolutely, Clayton. And supranational, extranational, I think are great ways to think about this. In fact, before the term globalist kind of became more popular in our modern conspiracy lexicon, some of the older research that I've read, they tended to call them internationalists because like the Rockefellers and others, because they don't have loyalty to any nation, state, or country. That's not how they operate. You know, obviously there's a lot of, different reasons why we might believe that they're doing this. Domination, just psychopathy, but they clearly do not have loyalties to their home countries, their places of birth, their places of origin. That is not what guides them. And in fact, I think that is one of, just like you talked about earlier, how they have these sort of wedge issues, whether it's abortion or immigration or other things they like to get the people to fight over. I think for them, nationalism is kind of one of those things. They can get people to fight over national identity. Not to say there's anything inherently wrong with that, but they get people to fight over national identity and those sorts of things. While above them, they couldn't care less. They'll sell out a nation state at a moment's notice if it means staying in power and advancing their agendas. The other point I'll make is that I think is sometimes difficult for some of us, just regular folk, to fathom, is that these people think long-term. They think generational. They're not thinking about only what they can accomplish in their life. They have this belief that, well, my lineage is going to carry this on, my royal house or whatever. And that's why even in the United States, we see essentially the royal houses. We see the Clintons and the Bushes and the same sort of names popping up over and over decades and generations. That is how these people operate. So when Henry Kissinger was checking out of the mortal realm, I don't think, I'm sure he was sad to be leaving and not be living here physically, but he died I'm sure, knowing that his minions and others would carry on these same agendas, because these people are thinking long term. While they've got us, distracted about how many likes we got today and whatever the news of the day is, they are thinking long term generational planning so that they can complete this agenda that they've been working on, which many of us know and call a new world order. I mean, I definitely think that is a big part of their goal, to construct some sort of world government, or maybe more in line with the technocratic vision, at least factions of the world like the North American Union, the North American Technate, that can be much more easily controlled. And that is what this is all about.
They looking generations ahead.
Listen to what Kevin said about the elite. Black guys in our entertainment space, because there's a handful of us that get to look behind the curtain. There's a curtain, there's another room, and there's a curtain. And in that room is some shit. You're like, God damn, I didn't know y'all was fucking doing this back here. I didn't know y'all was getting this type of money back here. What the fuck? Y'all been doing this for how long? This is how it happens. There's a room that you get in, and the information that comes in it. It's unreal, the stuff that you start to discover. But it's a discovery. It's a discovery. You got to stumble upon this treasure of information and discovery.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Gentlemen. Mr. Cybro.
Yes? If you really walked on the moon, why would you not do that? So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Cybro, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Really? Well, no, it's a real Bible. You have the opportunity to have $5,000.
The meeting is not open.
Well, you have $5,000 cash. You can give it to charity if you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Please
I have a tape.
It'd be fine.
Why don't you swear to? Why not? Why won't you do it? So why?
So music used to be tuned to 432.
We talk about hurts all the time. Please don't hurt me.
We're going deep, baby.
Don't talk about it. Because we literally, yeah.
The Nazis,
Yeah.
for their propaganda programs, tuned it to 440 because it was more applicable to, I forget the exact wording, but it made your brain more susceptible to iconography or to
Brainwashing. Propaganda,
Yeah.
brainwashing,
to
manipulation.
Suggestion, I think is the word I was looking for. And so now we tune all our music to 440 because of that.
It's also a little bit irritating to the body.
Yeah.
And
Intentionally so.
Intentionally so.
Yeah.
I was in the studio a long time ago, and I was like, I would like to tune all my stuff to, what's the right number?
432.
432. And they're like, oh, we can't. It would take too many dials and stuff, and it would all sound out of tune to people.
Yeah.
But that is
Interesting.
real.
Well, because actually, I know that does make sense now because you can't tune, like you can't melodyne to 432. You
cannot.
can't do that. You can't auto-tune to 432.
You have to sing the whole song, and then change it, and then change each thing into it.
Yeah.
Which is I can't.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's strange. It's
further
very strange.
proof of the manipulation. We often talk about how we think we're so free.
We're not free.
And we're not. We're very controlled.
Ooh.
Do you want to know how fucked up this world that we live in really is? Look up CIA Satan, and you will find Bloodlines of Illuminati. What you will find is 292 pages of what the absolute fuck information. Now, I want to point out one piece of information that everybody knows, which is Disney, Walt Disney. As you can see, you see Walt Disney right there? But let's look at the part that I highlighted. Behind Disney's good front lies hard films, and if you don't know what those are,
What?
it's basically films where people are unalived for entertainment.
Whoa.
White slavery. I don't even know what that is. White slavery. I guess that's what it sounds like. Illuminati, mind control, and the seduction of several into witchcraft. Disney's involvement in these kind of things. Hold on, I meant to highlight this part right here. Made hardcore corn that was made for years in secrecy for the elites. Now, this is the 209th page, so you can go and look this up for yourself and see that it is all right there in our faces.
Whoa.
Do not forget to save this post, repost it, and like this post so it gets on other people's For You pages. But I just want to say that the world that we live in is truly, truly not what you think. It's so much darker than you could ever imagine, but this is just one document of hundreds of documents that I've had saved for the years and years, but I think it's time for people to know the reality of what we're facing against especially ever since the veil is thinning more and more and more. People are seeing spirits, people are having supernatural experiences, and these people who are in control, this is all for entertainment purposes only, allegedly, you know, even though it's right there, but you know, their technology that they're using, their supernatural technology that they're using, it's not working as well. We're able to see them. If you go to low vibrational places, you can see these fucking creatures out there, and that's all I'm gonna say. But this is all for entertainment purposes only. It's all alleged. I'm just some dude on the internet who tries to stay to himself. I don't really know anything.
Me neither. Do your own research.
Everyone is wondering why this name from the Epstein files is redacted. This person sent Jeffrey Epstein an email saying, "I give you permission to kill him." Luckily, the DOJ is so bad at their job that they released a separate file with the same email, but the name was not redacted correctly. So if you look closely at the bottom, it reads out Susan Hamblin. Here's what it looks like deciphered. Susan Hamblin. Susan is like a ghost on the internet, but I found some information. She's a financial advisor, and she also founded an adoption agency called Kids to Families. Here's a picture of Susan Hamblin leaving Epstein's apartment. Here's a picture of Susie with Epstein where it says she's his assistant. Her adoption agency, Kids to Families, no longer exists, but I was able to find their old webpage on the Internet Archives. The only other thing I could find on Susan Hamblin is that she sued News Group Limited, the parent company of The Sun, after they printed an article saying that Susan Hamblin had groomed and procured a 16-year-old woman to be abused by Epstein, and had told her that Epstein would kill her and her family if she told anyone what Epstein had done. Other than that, Susan Hamblin is a complete ghost. Nobody can find any information on her. We were never supposed to see any of this. But thanks to the internet and the incompetence of the DOJ, we now know who was behind this email and who the government wanted to keep hidden.
Bruh, this is crazy.
DMX tried to warn us. DMX was speaking out against the industry a long time ago. Check this out.
Just the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. So I do what the fuck I want because nobody can finish me.
That's the
The industry wanted, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls in way they survive. The industry don't give a fuck about you, but the industry could make a dime without you. The industry. I'm sick of this industry shit. The industry playing them like an industry bitch. They try to finish me quick, but I am long, so I stand strong. Fuck a beat. Listen to the words in the damn song.
DMX is one of the few artists that from the very beginning was highly critical of the industry. He's highly critical and very open about speaking against the things that take away the authenticity of the art, the authenticity of the artist. Who knows? That could be one of the very reasons that they spun those narratives against them, that they turned the people against DMX. Who knows?
They like to do that. They like to spin shit.
They been trying to blackball me for the longest, bro. But let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Have you noticed that you never seen me around the real industry for real? And I know all these motherfuckers, rappers, everything, all the events, BT, all this stuff.
You haven't.
All that shit demonic.
You think so?
See,
I haven't got to that level. I don't know.
It's levels to this shit, bro.
I ain't got to that.
And I understand because like if you're not in this industry, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I can't speak on this. I don't know.
Hollywood, all that shit ran by demons, bro. Like you think all these rappers are gonna do things against their integrity, bro? When they get that money because they selling their soul for money. People think you got to sign a contract, all that. No.
It makes sense.
Selling your soul is basically just going against your integrity and your will for money to get fame and money.
You basically, in other words, you selling your soul without selling your soul, basically saying them words.
100%.
You going against your purpose. What you trying to get money, basically, like
you're
type
joining
shit.
the devil force.
So you think that that Illuminati shit real?
I don't think I know.
See, I ain't got that deep either. I don't know. But you say you know though.
Man, I'll show you proof of a lot of shit.
I never been on the Hollywood shit though.
No, I'm telling you, bro. I can show like everything I speak. I don't just speak. Like, anything I speak, I can show you proof.
Oh shit, man. Just because you know
this shit.
Just because you know the truth, that's why they're trying to blackball you.
100%. Let me tell you something. You understand something? I'm independent, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not signed to nobody. I'm not controlled by no label, nobody, no nothing.
You got freedom of speech.
Very well.
You got freedom of speech. There's a lot of niggas that got freedom of speech.
Bro, when they sign a contract, they can't even say Jesus. If you notice, a lot of celebrities don't say Jesus. You ain't know nothing, but when you start paying, you'll notice a lot of them don't say Jesus because they can't say Jesus.
I never paid attention to that.
I know.
This stuff is freaky.
So if you don't know who this man is, his name is Eric Hecker, and he's a whistleblower who supposedly worked as a contractor in Antarctica in 2010 to 2011. And he's made some wild claims as to what's really going on in Antarctica.
You were in the South Pole from 2010 to 2011. Let's talk about what you were doing down there.
You got it.
What were you doing down there?
I was contracted for the summer season as a plumber. I did well enough in my summer season to garner a winter contract as well, which got me my full year's stay. I was also tasked with being a firefighter. I was a lead on the firefighting team, and because of that dual role capacity, I physically held a key that opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
Now, one thing that's really strange to me is if he was there as a plumber and a firefighter, why in the world would they give him full access to a facility that would probably require the highest security clearance to even enter the building? But let's continue the video.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet.
Like what?
Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get in their vocabulary fast. The ice cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope. And now, because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapon system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand in 2011 on the front end of the year.
So if what Eric is saying is true, then this energy system is probably just scratching the surface of what is really going on in Antarctica.
Ooh, they're making earthquakes?
Could you make the case for why aliens probably do exist, and also the case for why they probably don't exist?
No, they surely exist in this universe. The universe is 14 billion years old, and the ingredients of life on Earth are the most common ingredients in the universe. And life began on Earth almost as quickly as it possibly could have. When Earth finally cooled down after it being formed, it was about 200 million years, first signs of single-celled life. So even though we can't duplicate that yet, we don't know how, that's a frontier of biology, Earth didn't seem to have problems getting the job done within 200 million years. That's Earth. Now you have exoplanets everywhere across the galaxy. To suggest that life on Earth is alone in the universe, you'd have to have some point of philosophy that requires you believe that, because it's not derived from actual evidence or observations of the universe itself. So, aliens, usually people mean intelligent aliens, but we're happy to find any kind of life at all. Bacterial life. That would transform biology.
What about in our galaxy, in the Milky Way galaxy?
Yeah, the galaxy is the most sensible place to. So we've looked for exoplanets. So
what's that?
A planet orbiting another star. Because if you're going to look for life, we presume it's going to be on a planet. So if this table is the galaxy, and the solar system would be about right there, we've searched a circle about this big. For exoplanets.
And what's the solar system versus the
It's just the sun and its planets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, solar system. And then that's our solar system there, and we are part of several hundred billion stars in the galaxy. And this galaxy is one of perhaps as many as 1 trillion galaxies in the observable universe.
Trillion.
So to say that we're alone, that's just you're being philosophically irresponsible.
So this table is The galaxy?
Yeah, if it were the galaxy.
And we've searched a coin.
Yes, that's a good word to use. A coin-sized volume of this galaxy. We've searched for exoplanets and, by association, life. So folks at the SETI Institute, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, they come up with an analogy. But there are people who have said, well, we haven't found life yet, so maybe there's no life anywhere. And we say, no, take a cup and scoop it into the ocean. That's like saying, the ocean has no whales in it.
Is that the equivalent?
Yeah, it's equivalent in terms of the space of searching.
Wow.
Because it's not only in physical space, but it's in time. Suppose aliens sent radio signals to us and they arrived 2,000 years ago. Do the Romans have radio telescopes? No.
Whoa.
But we would all count them as intelligent.
Whoa.
So communication requires intelligence and technology. How long have we had technology to do that? 80 years.
On the chance of probability, do you think there are aliens in the Milky Way galaxy?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
You think there are?
I don't see why not. It's a calculation you can do. I did it with 2 colleagues of mine. We have about 100 civilizations in the galaxy alive now.
Whoa.
That's not many out of the total number of stars. But again, a civilization has to evolve out of whatever it was, and it's a tiny little slice of time relative to how long the planet has been there.
Right.
100 different living.
Yeah, civilizations.
I pause on the word living because living can mean many things.
Well, I mean, Mars might have had life, but it would be dead today on the surface. So we're looking for living civilizations.
And does that excite you?
Yes, completely. But you want to now tell me it has visited you with fuzzy lights in the sky, and no one has like brought forth an alien. I need better evidence because you're making an extraordinary claim.
Humans' fascination with meeting these aliens when we've got crazy species we've never met on our own planet is quite bizarre.
That's a good point. And plus, what do we need real aliens for when we have Hollywood? The funny part to me is we have no knowledge that aliens want to harm us, but we do have knowledge that humans want to harm humans. And any encounter between an advanced civilization and one that was less advanced in the history of exploration has never boded well for the less advanced civilization. So for me, we are describing aliens not as we think they would be, but as we know we are.
Right, exactly.
To one another.
Exactly.
It's a mirror.
Exactly.
And we've only got to play out what we would do as well if we found an alien civilization. What would humans do? I mean, I think we'd go and try and steal some of them and bring them here.
Well, no, they're probably smarter than us.
Probably.
That's like worms saying, oh, we found some humans. What should we do with them? Should we corral them? No. If aliens came here, they clearly are more advanced than we are because we haven't left low Earth orbit in 53 years. So if they cross the galaxy to visit us, oh, we're going to shoot a gun at them? They'll laugh at us. You know.
In all the movies that we beat them. That's so funny. I've never thought about that before. That, yeah, we just shoot guns at them.
You shoot guns at them. And did it really make a difference? You know.
We put like Brad Pitt or whoever in like a Tom Cruise in a...
Good stuff.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Have you ever heard the conspiracy theory that Kanye West actually saved Taylor Swift's life? The evidence people point to is insane. For those who don't know, something really strange has been happening these past few years at every major award show. You constantly see celebrities thanking Beyonce, even though everyone knows nobody shares their trophies with anyone. Yet every single time, it looks like they're required to say their win is thanks to her. Otherwise, something bad might happen to them. But one time, during an award show, Taylor decided not to thank Beyonce, and it almost ended ended really badly for her. On September 13th, 2009, during the MTV Video Music Awards, 19-year-old Taylor Swift made history as the first country artist to ever win a VMA. She had just won Best Female Video for You Belong With Me, beating Beyonce, who was also nominated, and that's when everything flipped. Right as Taylor started her acceptance speech, Kanye West suddenly ran on stage, grabbed the mic out of her hand, and said this in front of millions of people.
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
That moment created massive awkwardness, and even Beyonce looked shocked in the audience. Everyone booed Kanye because we all thought he ruined the ceremony, but in reality, he didn't. He had just protected Taylor. The truth is, Taylor Swift had absolutely no intention of mentioning Beyonce in her speech. We didn't understand it at the time, but today it's clear that not thanking Beyonce could have destroyed her career. When you see all these celebrities thanking Beyonce every single year for no logical reason, there's obviously something darker behind it. So if Kanye hadn't stepped in that night, I can't even imagine what would have happened to her.
Man, ain't no telling what the hell going on.
Okay, I do want to talk about all of these, but I understand that you guys are more interested in stuff down here than up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through chronologically. I'll do a theory from 1, theory from 2, theory from 3, all the way down to 0, and then come back up and keep going down until it's complete. Also, there's a link in my bio if you want to see a high-res image of this. Lucid dreaming is well known. It's the idea that you can control your dreams when you're in them. Where the theory comes in, though, is that these people can actually influence the real world through their dreams. Singularity is an idea that at some point humans will develop AI that will match humans in level of intelligence, and there will be no way to come back from this point. A lot of people think we should stop developing AI for this exact reason. Okay, so in the 30s, a Chinese team went into the Himalayas and within a hidden tunnel system found over 700 grave sites. At each gravesite was one of these Dropa stones, which contains a lot of cobalt, which is not normally found in the Himalayas at all. Also, hieroglyphics in the cave depict stories of spaceships, and currently the Chinese government bans travel to this location. Interesting, isn't it?
If you're going to listen to an artist consistently, and it's your favorite artist, you most definitely should understand who it is that you're looking into or listening to. There's brainwashing that gets involved in music, in the music industry, like recording things backwards and all these different things that people don't know, frequency channelings and different things like that. So you never know who you're fucking with unless you fully dwell into them as a person.
Rest in peace to that dude, man.
Larry Fink, Soros, State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock, they're pretty much running everything.
Yeah.
S&P 500, 88% of the companies on S&P 500, 88% of them, the largest shareholder of those companies is either State Street, BlackRock, or Vanguard. Okay, let's go look at Hollywood. Let's go look at pharmaceutical. Let's go look at this. And you're like, wait a minute. These guys essentially have a monopoly. Well, how big is BlackRock? $10 trillion. How big is $10 trillion? Only 2 countries have a bigger GDP than what BlackRock has, assets under management. Wow. US and China. That's how big BlackRock is. What the hell is going on here? They have that much control to get everybody to do what they want them to do? Yes. This isn't like a billionaire can come out and say, I'm going to go up against these guys. A billionaire to these guys is nothing. They got the kind of control that can make companies fire boards, they can replace CEOs, they can replace leaders if they don't like.
10 trillion.
I have friends, advisors, and business associates who say I should not tell you this. But this information is important, and I think you should know it. So in school today, we're focused on a thing called SAT, or Scholastic Aptitude Testing. We want to find out how good you are at reading, writing, and arithmetic. Very important skills. And depending on how well you do with SAT, the next thing they focus on is professional aptitude testing, whether you should be a doctor, a lawyer, fire chief, secretary, or whatever. It's a professional training. But what school fails to focus on or train people on is a thing what I call financial intelligence. We never discuss the subject of money in schools. So what do I mean by financial intelligence? Well, if we gave $10,000 to 100 people, 80 of them, or 80%, would have nothing left at the end of a year. 16% with the same $10,000 might have $10,050, what you would get by putting it in a bank. And 4%, given that same $10,000, would have anywhere from 20,000 to $1 million or more. And that's what I mean by financial intelligence. So when we go to school, we learn to read these things. But we never learn to read these financial statements or annual reports. We never learn financial literacy in school.
Of course, they don't want us to know that.
One conspiracy that I absolutely believe in is that we have no idea how many humans actually live on this planet. I recently did a video debunking the 4 biggest conspiracies, but this one might actually have some legs to it. Most estimates place the Earth's population at around 8.2 billion, and that number comes from a mix of census data and satellite modeling. These models work incredibly well in cities, but struggle with scattered rural populations. Now, new research coming out of Finland says we might be massively undercounting rural populations in global data sets, with some being undercounted by 53 to 84%. If these studies prove to be true, that means there could be hundreds of millions, maybe even a billion more people that exist right now than our current estimates suggest.
That's crazy. Of course they don't know how many people.
Now, before AI becomes fully conscious and has the ability to overtake all of us, there's a few milestones it has to hit. The first step is CAPTCHAs.
When OpenAI developed GPT-4, they wanted to test what this thing can do. So they gave it a test to solve CAPTCHA puzzles.
So you know when you sign into a website, and sometimes it gives you a CAPTCHA. It's like a bunch of letters and numbers, and they're all kind of squiggled.
And the website wants to know if you're a human or a robot.
Because robots aren't able to figure it out.
And block the robots.
Yeah. AI can beat those now.
Let me tell you just one small story about what the new generation of AI can do.
And it's not just beating CAPTCHAs. Listen to how it did it for the first time.
Now, GPT-4 could not solve by itself the CAPTCHA puzzle.
And how AI learned to manipulate humans to do it.
What it did, it accessed a web page where you can hire humans to do jobs for you, TaskRabbit, and it asked a human worker, please solve the CAPTCHA puzzle for me. Now, this is the interesting point. The human got suspicious. It asked GPT-4, why do we need somebody to do this for you? What, are you a robot? And then GPT-4 told the human, no, I'm not a robot. I have a vision impairment, so I can't see the CAPTCHA puzzles. This is why I need help. And the human was duped and did it for it. So it is already able not just to invent things, it's also able to manipulate people.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Scientists just did some shit that should make everybody uncomfortable. They basically put a living fly into the Matrix. You heard what I just said? Scientists put the brain of a living fly into the Matrix. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. And I'm not talking about science fiction. Researchers actually took the brain structure of a fruit fly and uploaded it into a computer simulation. Not a cartoon version, an actual neural model of the fly's brain. They built a simulated body for the fly. They built a simulated environment for the fly, and they let the brain run. The crazy part, the digital fly started doing normal fruit fly behavior, moving around, exploring, reacting to certain surroundings, trying to eat simulated food. Look at this shit. This fly is just living life. But the crazy part, the fly has no idea it's inside a computer. This fly is in a simulation.
Wow.
And as far as the brain is concerned, the world around it is completely real.
Right.
And once you think about that for a second, now that leads to a much bigger question. If scientists can simulate the brain of a fly and drop it into a digital world, I think you know where I'm going, right? What if we are living in a digital world? What if we're living in a simulation? Because if a tiny brain can live in a simulation, how do we know we're not living in a simulation already? I'm out.
I didn't prepare a speech, and I'm sorry, but I'm glad that I didn't, because I'm not going to do this like everybody else does it. And I'm going to use this opportunity the way that I want to use it.
Okay.
So what I want to say is, everybody out there that's watching, everybody that's watching this world is bullshit. And you shouldn't model your life. Wait a second. You shouldn't model your life about what you think that we think is cool and what we're wearing and what we're saying and everything. Go with yourself. Go with yourself.
Sign of you, oh, like you don't know what it is.
You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
Classic.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it.
I feel like people are dancing on our graves. People in fancy dresses, black, of course, posing and living it up on the red carpet. And the black, stupid clothes that the stupid men wore. It's a lie, and I knew they were gonna trot the activists out there for PR.
But it sounded like it really derailed everything, right?
Well, yes, because there's a system in place that is about power. And I had played by the rules up until that point. And I felt like, okay, now suddenly I've been violated and it has gone too far and I will no longer abide this.
Ask them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here and it would have been, Wois, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears you. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson.
I was not cooperating in rehearsals, and I haven't been taking my medication. All of this was a false. He immediately the next day put me on lithium out of nowhere. He took me off my normal meds I'd been on for 5 years. And lithium is a very, very strong and completely different medication compared to what I was used to.
Bro, this stuff is...
Let's talk about the Kardashians. First of all, you could literally point out so many men who have been around that family and afterwards are on their way out literally like this. I mean, look at Kanye West, guys. Come on now. Also, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think people can go from this to this. That's a little weird. And we also have all the symbolism. For instance, this picture, there's a checkerboard floor. If you're to look at their arm formations, it actually makes a message. Here's Kendall Jenner, literally from her own Instagram with a Baphomet tattoo on her finger. Here's some one-eye symbolism from Khloe. Oh, and don't you know it, all the celebrities just happen to do the same 3 poses all the time. Also, another weird thing, a rumor's been going around for years that Kim is channeling some of these deceased celebrities, proof by when she receives a lock of Marilyn Monroe's hair in this clip.
I remember this.
What is this? That is Marilyn's hair. You can clone her. That's awesome. Oh my god, I'm literally going to do some crazy voodoo shit that I...
And we mustn't forget that in American Horror Story, she literally played the character of a Hollywood witch trying to take the baby of Emma Roberts for fame. This last clip says it all.
I mean, we used to have to use magic to make our creatures. The IVF produces miracles these days. You're a monster. Oh no, babe. I'm so much worse.
All right, guys, that was another TikTok compilation, man. That was some weird, crazy, disturbing. There was a lot of stuff going on in this video here. If you made it this far, you a real one for real. Make sure you put that in the comments, man. But hey, take care of yourself. This stuff is crazy, squad. This stuff is really crazy, man. But listen, if you into this stuff, I got a TikTok playlist you can binge watch, but proceed with caution because it gets crazy. But till next time, man, self-love and positivity. Fire Squad, I got you and you know it.